Team with a Vision presents Tip of the Day. In this segment, Chaz Davis interviews Coach John Furey. Most of the hard work has already been done, but what do the last few weeks of training look like? Although this is a crucial period of time for training, Coach John lets us know how less is more and how scaling back your training volume could be the difference between arriving on the starting line a broken person or ready to go on race day.
And so that really leads into my next question about what would the next couple weeks after that look like, workout wise, and volume would probably decrease, right? So how would that really look with that approach to the marathon race?
Okay, so Chaz, you're going to go into your taper mode after that final long run. And the taper, similar to the long run, how much you taper is also predicated on how much you're doing. If you're running, let's say, a moderate amount of weekly mileage, and I'll say under 30 or under 35, the taper is not going to be that dramatic for those couple of weeks. It's really going to be dramatic the last 5 days. And I'll be covering a lot of this stuff in the forthcoming emails. But if you're running, say, 45 or 50 miles a week, you're going to start to decrease that maybe 2 weeks out by 20%, and then that final week by a little bit more. But the taper actually does begin for everybody with their last long run approximately 3 weeks out. And then the part of the taper that would happen first would be the reduction in long runs. So let's say you do run 18 or 20 on August 22nd. Your phase one of taper would be the next Saturday or Sunday, might be a 12 or 14. And then the mileage that last week before the marathon would probably be cut down by 40 to 50%, really accentuated the last 3 or 4 days before the race itself. So you're really looking at the taper or the reduction in a couple of things: the long run reduction, the weekly mileage reduction. Like I said, it would be more dramatic if you're already running more miles, and then cutting out stuff like your strength training, especially the leg work, the last couple of days before, so everything is refreshed and replenished and at 100% preparation.
Yeah. And, it really sounds like in the last 2 weeks, the money's really already in the bank. All the training that you put in, you banked it all up. You're ready to go on race day. So, much of those last couple weeks is with the taper is just kind of to recover, to get yourself ready for the marathon. That makes sense.
Yeah, so to speak, land the plane. I mean, you might get a little bit edgy if, like, this summer's been tough, hot, motivational difficulties. You might get a little bit edgy thinking, I'm a little bit behind on some of my stuff. So you just got to be careful, especially with trying to squeeze extra long runs in. I mean, if you squeezed a couple of extra weekly sessions in, I wouldn't be as worried. But I think other things, even non-running things like the stretching and the rolling, and even we still have enough time if you've been a little bit negligent with some of your strength stuff to up that a little bit. Hydration, mental prep, make sure you're planning out the fueling strategies and the course. Now we have the luxury of having our own course design, so things like that really start to take hold.
Yeah. So you mentioned a couple big things in there: hydration, fueling, nutrition, the diet. So leading up to the race, especially in the couple of days before the race, are pretty important for how you feel on race day. And so if we're looking at the day before, even what would that day look like diet-wise, hydration-wise, to make sure that we'd be good for the next day? And, even on race morning, what kind of pre-race meal would go into, really feeling good on race day?
Okay, so I would say a couple of things, Chaz. First, especially with the weather we've been having and the potential weather we're going to have coming up to race day, hydration is even important now than it would be in the winter, simply because it's so much easier to be chronically dehydrated with the humidity and the weather we've been having. So regular hydration, even going into the week, is key. You don't want to be behind. And the last couple of days, I mean, years ago, you used to see a lot more focus on the carbo loading going 3 days out. Now it's more like the day out, because simply what the science showed is our cutback in training almost enhances that carbo loading type mechanism more. So, that that day out, say, let's talk about, even if we're doing it on a Sunday, say we're going out Friday night, really good carbo-based meal with some good proteins in there, really good meals on Saturday, and making sure that your breakfast of race day, and I'm guessing most people are probably going to be going early to mid-morning, your breakfast is something that you've already experimented with and found to be successful in these long runs that you've been doing the last few months or beyond. So, I mean, it is highly individualized. There's people that can eat a huge breakfast and are ready to roll right away. And there's other people that need several hours. So I think that you almost want to adjust your own personal start time based on your gut tolerance, your digestive issues, things that make you the most comfortable. Like, don't feel that you have to set it at a 7A or an 8A start if you're that individual that has trouble with digestion and letting the gut feel good before you run and you need a little bit more time. So I think the planning in these weeks is critical to get everything in order when we head into that weekend, and give yourself some leeway and flexibility. Don't feel like you have to be that person that says, I'm going out at 8 o'clock. Now, the weather might be the curveball. You know, if we decide that it's Saturday or Sunday of that weekend and the forecast is calling for, 88 degrees by 11, it might change that a little bit, but you can adjust that individually based on gut tolerance. And there's just so many good food strategies that work well. And like I said, I'll be sending out probably from now till the virtual, the weekly emails, and we'll be talking in great detail, and I'll give all sorts of sample diets and meals that will get you going. But you definitely want to make sure that you've tested it in these Saturdays.
Team with a Vision will be back soon with more tips leading up to race day.